And on that note, I want to give a big hand to the guest of honor, our very special guest, and the newest e-resident of Estonia, His Royal Highness, the Duke of York.
Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, this is a wonderful gift of e-residency. It's slightly annoying that I can't just be a bit more flexible about residency in more general terms. Slightly stuck in the UK, but never mind. I was at dinner last night and it was clearly explained to me by my host the advantages of being in Estonia. So I'm rather envious, but this is going to make a huge difference to a number of things that I might well be considering doing after visiting here these 2 days. First of all, I must say that it's an enormous pleasure to be back here in Estonia. I was here in 1998, and circumstances have changed completely since the last time I was here. What Estonia has done over the last few years in terms of startup, in terms of applying its human resources, has been remarkable. And I think that Latitude59 and what it has achieved with such a large audience and an increasing audience is to be congratulated for their enormous success. One of the roles that I perform in the United Kingdom is to support British prosperity. Now that can do a number of ways. That you can do in a number of different ways. But if we can start principally by creating the conditions whereby young people get the right education, where they are given the opportunity to be creative, where they are given the opportunity to understand what education is going to do for them. If we can then encourage those students to understand how science, how engineering, how technology are going to be the value-added aspects of a future career, and how we can encourage young people to be enterprising, how we can encourage young people to consider starting their own business, be that a domestic business with a market the size that we have in the UK, or international, where, particularly because of your market size here, your businesses have to think globally. If we can do that in the United Kingdom, then we've gone a long way to securing our future prosperity. All of what I have said goes on here naturally. And that is partly down to the fact of your size. It is partly down to the fact that you have the ability to be nimble. You have the ability to rest on some sure foundations of a good, what I would describe as a mathematical and science-based education system. These are all things that we have in common. There are many things that the UK and Estonia have in common. There are many historical aspects of where our relationship goes back to. But it is more important to think about how that collaboration can be applied in the future. Many of you are probably aware that Estonia and Britain are members of what's called the D5, which is the digital 5 countries, or the countries that are most digitally connected at government level. And that includes New Zealand, Israel, and South Korea. We are 2 countries inside the European Union, at least currently, we should be conducting more collaboration in these areas. And this is where the connection between D5 and the Duke of York became obvious when I was hosting a reception for them at Buckingham Palace. Listening to the Estonian delegation, it was quite clear where you were going as far as not only the digital government and e-residency, as has been demonstrated with this card, but also in terms of what you're doing for building startup businesses and encouraging people to think in that way. By coincidence, because I was working on British prosperity and working at young people and encouraging them, we've built a platform called Pitch at the Palace, which is entirely devoted to encouraging and supporting entrepreneurs. But I have 4 reasons for existence. One is that startups need a distribution system. The second one is they need to be given an opportunity to get into somebody's supply chain. In many cases, the one thing that startups tell me that they need is good mentoring. And lastly, but by no means least, they need finance. We try to create the conditions whereby those 4 things can be achieved through what we do. There are some advantages in the experience that I have and the connections that I have, because we can build you a network. You can enter that network, and we can get you to the decision makers that are going to be so vital to get you that distribution system or supply chain. So one of the reasons for coming here first, and it's very kind of Latitude59 to ask us to do this here, is in order to be able to bring that possibility to more than just businesses that are based in the United Kingdom. We are going further afield, and what I started 2.5 years ago as a small startup that was a nice little cuddly toy that sat on the palm of my hand is now a voracious man-eating lion in the corner of the room. We're now having to scale because so many people are wanting to use the platform. So we've got the prospect of later this next month heading to Malaysia, and we're heading on even further into Asia and other countries. So that network is going to grow, enabling entrepreneurs such as yourselves reach that global market that you know, because of where you come from, how important it is. So I'm fascinated just to be here for a couple of days to learn and to listen and to be inculcated into your way of thinking. I look forward to collaborating over a much longer period of time with not only the government of Estonia, but also the startup community here, because I know that what we have in the United Kingdom can be a stepping stone for you, and there are other places that you can go just as easily. If If you want to go further, you have to go to San Francisco. London's a little easier. So I would encourage you to think about the UK. Of course I would, wouldn't I? So good luck. It's a great pleasure to be here, and thank you for the opportunity of not only bringing pitch, but also joining you and helping you. Thank you very much.
Your Royal Highness, can I ask you a question? Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Your Royal Highness. I know that you are a trade ambassador to your country. What are the biggest challenges bringing UK companies to other markets? Are there any?
Only one. And I would put this down to choice. There are now, because we live in a global climate and a global economy, the choice of where you can go are just so many that I find that when I suggest a market to some businesses, they go, yes, but Your Royal Highness, we've got to make a choice as to where we go now. In the days of before, it was obvious. If we were in the Commonwealth and the Empire, we would go there. Now that we're part of the European Union, we would naturally think of our European partners. But actually, our DNA, being an island, we think globally. And so it's choice that is the problem. It's the choice that really causes our British companies the most difficulty.
I hope that your companies will find their way to Estonia more and more.